everybody, welcome back to Sunday Remedy. I am Rachel.
And I'm Peyton, and today we have a fun topic that just feels on brand for the new year, for January, because everybody is setting goals, everybody's doing their vision boards. It just feels so energetic, and everyone is just a new person now that the clock hit midnight, and everyone's just a new person this year, it seems. So we're going to dive into
and we're going to unpack that a little bit, because is everyone a new person?
Not necessarily.
Not really.
But it's such an interesting thing that, you know, I love that I've just seen it more this year, and I don't know if it's just because that's like who I follow on social media and like who I'm surrounded by, but so many people are doing these vision boards, and I see everyone being so intentional, which I love. I appreciate that. But I just find it so interesting because I have a little hate against New Year's resolutions. Like, I don't have any, but I just have like things that I do throughout the year. If I want to change something, I'm just going to change it. I'm just going to do it and not necessarily have a resolution. So we're going to talk about setting goals for a vibrant life without the resolutions, because I feel like it's hard to have a resolution when you're not doing the things to actually change your life to make that easy.
My thing with New Year's resolutions is it's beautiful, right? It's a great time of year. People sit down, they think about their lives, they reflect, but you can kind of do that anytime, to Peyton's point. But I always think people overshoot their resolutions. They pick something that's too unattainable or kind of unrealistic for where they currently are. And so, you know, it's a beautiful time of year. Like I said, everyone's social engagements are kind of over. You can cozy up on your couch and think about where you want to be a year from now. I think that's fantastic. I've done that in the past, but overshooting your goals sets yourself up for failure.
My resentment comes for New Year's resolution is just the gym. It's like, that's my happy place. I go there in the morning. I'm like, you know, I'm just excited to go and have a therapeutic workout session. And you New Year's resolutioners have ruined it for me. And I can't wait until February 1st. I'm not trying to be bitter, but I am, because February 1st, you guys won't be there anymore. So it's only a few more weeks. I'll be fine. You guys won't, but I will.
She was telling me about this earlier. She said my gym was crowded this morning, and it is so upsetting.
And you know what? It wasn't crowded. Guess who went on New Year's Day? I went on New Year's Day. Not to brag. I won't get a trophy for it, but I did go on New Year's Day, and guess who wasn't there? You guys weren't there. No one was there on New Year's Day. It was an empty gym. No one was there Thursday. No one was there Friday. Everyone was just like, you know what? I'm taking until Monday, because the new year doesn't start in the middle of the week. I'm going to take until next week off. So everyone was at the gym today because it's a Monday. But guess who was there? January 1st, 2025.
I'm feeling the bitterness.
So this is where it's coming from. I'm like, all you guys are here, and you guys weren't here on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because it was a continuation of the holiday. But you guys are here today. So anyways, you know, that's just
go to the gym.
It's great for you. Work out.
But again, make a reasonable goal for yourself.
Yes.
But
yes. So we have a fun activity.
Anybody can participate in this regardless of whether you're feeling extremely blessed and fortunate and grateful, or you're feeling very unsure and just doubtful about the year to come. So
that's a good point though, because I remember waking up on New Year's Eve, like, I think this was probably like, I don't even know, like last year I think was like a good year, but I just knew that I had so many things that I want. But I remember like waking up on a New Year's Day and I just didn't like who I was. This was probably like when I was 22 years old, like woke up on New Year's Day and I'm like, I am just so sick of the person that I've been, and I'm not doing it anymore. Like, I don't like myself. I don't like who I'm becoming. I'm changing. Like, I'm going to just be better. That was like my goal. And like, ever since then, like that was like my one pretty crappy New Year's Day, because I just didn't like that. And so I'm not going to, like, this year I feel like I'm fortunate enough, but it's like because I've had those really hard times of getting to where I am. So that's a good point.
New Year's Day for me last year was 2023 for me was a year of a lot of growth, a lot of hard work, a lot of habit changes. It was a tough year, personally, professionally, just a lot of different areas where I was just stretched in my life, and I'm grateful for that year in hindsight. But I remember on New Year's Eve, my friend and I went to just get a really casual dinner. Wasn't anything crazy. We went to dinner early before everyone else emerged. We were home. I was in bed by like probably 9:30 or something. I woke up in the middle of the night and drove I'm currently in Charlotte, so I woke up in the middle of the night and drove to the mountains, which is like
crazy,
2.5 hours away. I brought my dog with me, and I was determined to start the year with like a New Year's sunrise hike. And I go on this hike, and I'm just walking around, and I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing? And it's dark outside.
Yeah.
I have tux. I'm in the mountains. There's some snow on the ground. It was really beautiful. But I just remember thinking to myself, I was like, okay, if I start my new year this way, it has to be better. Like, it has to go better. So, it was just, there was a lot of uncertainty in that morning, in that moment. It was just very overwhelming. So if you are feeling that way, I cried when it started to snow. Like, it was just a beautiful morning, but the entire thing was just, I saw a deer walking through the snow. Everything was perfect, but I had no idea where I was going to be a year from then. From that point, I just was completely flying blind, and so ended up being my favorite year. And I'm exceptionally grateful for everything that it gave me. But if you are stressed, that's okay. Not every year is the same, but if you're feeling very optimistic and excited, this will be for you as well. So you can do either one.
Yes.
Promise. It'll be good.
But these are just like a little bit more positive, and I think they honestly, like, to me, like, setting a goal of like, it's more of like focusing on one thing, like this is the here, but I feel like this is the vehicle. Like, these answer the how you're gonna get there, the vehicle, but like New Year's resolutions are kind of just like, that's where I'm gonna go, but like, is that where I'm just gonna stop, or like, how do I keep going on that?
Sure.
So like, these are good questions to hopefully it's just how you can actually just transform your lifestyle to get to whatever your goal is. So first one, if you could describe your ideal day in 3 words, what would they be?
Peaceful, serene, dogs. So I am the most at peace when I'm with my fiance and our dogs, and I love it. And I'm the most serene when we are in the mountains, or watching sunset on the back deck. So those are that's my happy place. That's my ideal day, I guess.
Love that. It's so relaxed. I would say my 3 words would be food, cozy, food, cozy, and reading, like something chill, something that just relaxes me. Also, just like, ideal day is just going to get croissants. I'm not going to say the name because it's going to be too busy, and it's already too busy. So I'm not going to tell anybody what it's called, but we go there on Sundays.
Well, I can't eat your croissants because I can't have gluten. No. So,
but I'll just have to tell you that it's so good. How can you implement that in every day?
In my case, my peacefulness, like, we are at peace together, my fiance and I, and I'm really grateful for that. Yeah. I mean, we spend, he sees me more than anybody else. And so thank gosh we're peaceful together, because that would be a bummer if it wasn't. But us and the dogs, they've got to be there. We bring them everywhere we can. If we can't bring them, we're a little bummed out, but we bring them both, and then we've got us, and then honestly, watching sunset, we have a great view of just a really beautiful sunset in the back. And so it's something you can do anytime. It doesn't necessarily have to be grandiose, but of course I'm the most happy in the mountains. So if I get to do it there.
Yeah. So what is one habit you've always wanted to start but haven't yet? What's held you back?
All right, I will out myself. I have always wanted to be one of those people that just works out like you do. I've always wanted to be one of those people.
We're converting you.
That just is really consistent about it. I am active.
You are very active.
I live a very active lifestyle. I am never sitting still, but I am not one of those gym junkies that you see. So we complement really, really well, because we kind of fill the holes that the other doesn't.
But you're the girl that also like moved yourself out of your apartment, which is functional fitness right there.
I do. I'm very like do it yourself. I spent my New Year's this year painting a bedroom. So crazy times.
My habit that I've always wanted to start but haven't yet, I would say not always, but recently, me and my boyfriend did get the cold plunge, and I've been avoiding it like the plague. Like, actually, and I'll tell you why, because I'm very competitive, and like, I just like to be better at things than other people, and especially him. I just want to be a little better.
You're competitive?
I just want to be a little bit better than him.
I never knew.
I want him to win, but I want to win by, I want to beat him by a little more. So it's like, that's my shtick with that. But he loves the cold plunge. He'll get in the cold plunge and he will stay in there for 10 minutes. It's horrendous. Like, he loves it. He enjoys it. It's not cold for him. I'm like, this is just crazy to me that he enjoys it that much. And then when I get in, he's like, no, you have to go all the way down, and pushes me down. And it's so cold. I'm like, not the hair. I have hair. I don't want to get it wet. And it's really cold. So anyways, he's just like, he loves it so much, and I don't love it so much.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's what's holding me back. It's very cold. But I am like, I've done it a couple times. I need to do it more. And we actually signed up for like this cold plunge event this Saturday, which I have to nail it by then, because I'm not going to embarrass myself.
Props to you. I am all down for a sauna.
Yeah.
Cold
Love
plunge.
it. Very, very cold. Whatever you answered, whatever the habit that you want, and whatever is holding you back, like, openly say it to yourself. Why am I not doing it? Why am I not cold plunging? Because it's cold. And I don't want to be uncomfortable. So it's like, I know my barrier is like, I don't want to be uncomfortable for 3 minutes. When you don't want to do something, remind yourself, why don't you want to do it? Why don't you want to wake up early? Why? Because I don't want to be tired, and I just am better being in bed where I'm comfortable. So it's like, you have to just break out of your comfortable circle.
The other thing too is, it's not just always why, right? It's also what, like, look at it as, okay, what would I get out of making this change? What would I get in return? And so when you think about, okay, I'm avoiding working out all the time, that would be an incredible benefit for me. And that's just longevity, strength, overall wellness. My body would function even better than it does now. The thing that I do the best is the clean eating and the healthy cooking, and I'm really good about the products that I use, and that is like my niche. I am really good in that area, but I am a little less good in this area, and so I've seen the benefits of making those changes, and it's taken a long time and trial, error, failing, trying something new, buying a product that I end up loving, but then I end up ruining it for myself because I researched it a little bit more and discovered that it was not a great product to use.
Yeah.
So whatever the case is, think about the benefit that you would get and start small. So I want to work out. I am certainly not about to try and achieve every single day the way that this one can, right? Because I'm going to fail in 2 seconds. Maybe. But I won't if I set an achievable goal. And so that's kind of where I'm at. What about you?
It's like not something that I planned or would envision, but I just think that I really have like a different relationship with alcohol right now. And I think that I foresee this happening through this year. Like, I just really just don't have the urge to like want to have a drink. I went out with my girlfriends. I had no desire to even drink. I changed the way that I look at that. Like, I can go out and have fun with my friends, do these things, but it doesn't need to have alcohol involved. And it's not even because like I wanted to give it up. I think it's just, I feel so much better. And that's what I think about how crappy alcohol has made me feel lately. Like, I feel inflamed. Even if I just have a glass of something, like my face the next morning, I'm puffy and like, I just don't feel as motivated. And it just makes me not as sharp. And so that's not something that I've been enjoying. And it's not like I intentionally gave it up. I just think it's like a different relationship. So I think that that is something that I probably foresee going on this year, just because I really like how I feel the next day without it and all of that. So I'm excited.
That's an incredible one.
So what does healthy look like to you beyond just eating and exercise? You can give, I know we talk about this all the time, so it can be just like a one-off, like what is something that we don't normally talk about?
Healthy beyond eating and exercise, for me, that's my faith life and church and God. I'm Catholic, and it's really important to me that I maintain that piece, because prayer, thoughtfulness, making sure that I'm making God the priority in my life, that's very important to me. And I've gone through phases where that's dipped or tapered off and then come back into the fold, and nothing makes you realize how much you need it when you don't have it. And so healthy, I need to maintain my physical health, yes, but you also need to maintain your mental health and your spiritual health, and your faith life is such a huge part of that. And so get into church, make sure you're prioritizing prayer. I think that's mine. About you?
I would say like something that I don't traditionally talk about, but like healthy to me that I've really been focusing on is like spending, like not just being intentional, but the time that I spend with people, like actually bonding with them. Mm-hmm. And I think like maybe that's kind of where the alcohol thing has come into play, is like I just want to eliminate that. Like I have such great people in my life, like I want to embrace that and like have these memories, and like I want to just be there and like experience that without anything else. Like, I'm like, this is so much better than a glass of alcohol. Like, I have the greatest people in my life. Why do I even need alcohol to, like, enjoy that? So I think it's, like, that's, like, really impacted me. But, like, really just making sure I spend time with the people that I have. And, like, not just, like, spending time with them, but genuinely bonding. I think that's just, like, something that I'm really trying to put effort in. Especially, like, friendships, my relationship. Like, something that I'm doing is, like, we need to, like, do an activity together where we're both going to grow. Because I think that's, like, I just want that. Like, we're so lucky to have such great people in our lives that, like, why not just, like, maximize that?
I know. We had the best little girl, just like errand day the other day, and we just grabbed a little cup of coffee.
Did we do best and just bop around town?
We did bop around town, and we just had like the best time. We started the day with like juice and like a little healthy breakfast situation, and then we just kind of ran some errands that we'd probably run anyway. Yeah. But
it's like the little things. Yeah, and just like spending time with your people. I think like to me that's healthy versus like just like not actually genuinely trying to get to know the people in my life.
It is really tough when you add alcohol into the fold. Usually those outings surround like a loud place. You're going to a bar. It's like, I can't even hear you.
Did I really get to know you? Or like, what did I learn? What's something you new that I learned about you that night? Because we were at a bar and I can't hear you.
I also, the older you get, the harder it is to spend a lot of time with your friends, right? Yeah. And so that time is so valuable. And if you're giving someone that prime time, those weeknight slots, those weekend slots, it's like, I need to hear about what you're up to, what you're doing.
Yeah, I need a recap. I need to get to know you.
Yeah. And also, you guys can use these answers as well to kind of inspire your own if you'd like to. But of course, we challenge you guys to keep coming up with your own.
So name one way you'd like to grow spiritually this year. How can you make that part of your daily routine?
I have been really meaning to do the Bible in a year.
Yeah.
I have the Hallow app. I really had the ambition to do that last year, and I woefully failed. So
88.
See, but that's solid. It's like
and then it's like summer 88. I can guarantee you, like that's usually when like spring, summer starts, and then things get really hard to just keep track of.
Yeah, I need to resurrect this, and I'm kind of hoping that maybe Dave and I can maybe do that together. Potentially we can kind of incorporate that, but
I like that.
I think, daily routine, that might be a little ambitious, but, maybe a weekly thing where we sit down and do that potentially.
Yeah, I like it.
We've already kind of talked about it, so I'm not committing him to something he didn't kind of already agree to.
Yeah. I've started a prayer journal, so like every day, instead of just like praying in my head, like I feel like it is nice to write it down, because I'm actually like putting it into existence and like letting God know like the desires of my heart. I feel like that's something that's been like interesting. I saw someone else do it and post about it. I'm like, I love that you're writing it down, and it's made it more intentional instead of just like being like, oh God, thank you for this food, amen, and like eating. Like that's a very quick prayer, and I'm not really like, I guess I'm not taking inventory of like the blessings and things that I have in my life, versus like when I write it down, I feel like I'm taking inventory. So like that's been like a really big mind shift. Yeah. And like now I'm like praying for people, which I'm like, oh, it's like so nice to like, because now instead of just like, I don't know, like I can say that I'm going to pray for people and I do it, but like it's different. I feel like when I just write it down and then I can like list of like what I'm praying for about them. And then like the next day I'm like writing it down. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I read back a week ago. I'm like, their prayer got answered. That's great. And so like, I don't know. I think it's just been like a good way to like document and diary this, but that's been like a fun way to grow my faith because then I feel like I actively have this conversation with God. Like every day, like, hey God, thanks so much. Like praise, you answered my prayers.
Yeah. I think that's really beautiful. And that's so fun because it's also therapeutic, right? The act of actually writing something down, you gotta be more thoughtful.
Yeah. Yeah, we love thoughtful.
I do.
How do you currently show love and care in your relationships? What's one small way you'd like to grow in this area?
All right. Currently, show love and care in your relationships. I would say that I make a great deal of effort for all of my people. So whether that is reaching out, writing down a quick little like letter, some kind of shoot a text of some kind of like appreciation, or just kind of making sure that even if I haven't seen you in a while or you live far away, that I'll call. And I don't always, this is a controversial subject. I do not let people know sometimes when I call. I just call. I don't say, hey, I'm gonna call. I just call them. And if they're busy, they won't answer, and that's totally fine. I never take it personally. But a lot of times, you know, I have friends in different parts of the country, and if I didn't take the time to call, I don't think they would call me, and that is A-okay. No harm, no foul. Everybody's got their different, you know, things in relationships and friendships that they bring to the table. But I think that's one of mine, and so with that, I've been able to maintain a lot of different friendships over, you know, long distances, which has been fun because I'm not originally from this area, so I got to try a little harder. Yeah. And then a small way I'd like to grow in this area. I'm not as great at the verbal affirmation, right? Telling someone what it is that I'm grateful for or that I love about them in real time. I'm usually more of a literary, so I'll think about it and then write it down, or shoot somebody a text. But I would like to get better in this area. It's been an ongoing improvement that I'm trying to make.
Same. And I love you say literary, and I'm like, that's like me. Like I have a hard time just like vocalizing it in the moment of like, I should have said that, but I didn't. So I think I can agree with you there.
Yeah.
I feel like the way I show love in my relationships is like giving you quality time. Like I think that's
you
like,
are very good at that.
Like to me, that's my love language. So I serve it because I'm like, I love it. So I'm like, everyone loves it. Here. Everyone loves my love language, right?
It's my love language.
Yeah.
As well.
So I love like quality time for me is really good. But I think one way I want to grow is also be a little more vulnerable. And I think one of my friends, she's just really good. Lauren is very good at this. Like she's very good at just being, you know, like being deep. And like it's like kind of like an out of pocket deep, like you just like have a night and she just says something really warm and nice. I'm like, that is like so great. And I think it like you have to just make yourself uncomfortable for like a few times and then it gets easier. So I think I'm like, I admire that and I want to be able to be that kind of person that can just say something so deep out of pocket. And like genuine.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. So I love that. And I'm like, that is just great. I think you just have to do it and it's going to be uncomfortable until it's not anymore.
Yeah, it's
and
not
it feels good.
And it's not even so much that I couldn't do it. I think it. It just, I don't think to say it.
Yes.
But until later, it's horrible. It's not even intentional. So I need to intentionally make a note to think about this more often so that I can make sure that I'm affirming and complimenting in the way that people need. So, something I'm working on.
Okay, so this is going to be our last one.
Okay.
Let's see. Picture your future self. What advice do you think she'd give you right now about how to prioritize your health and happiness? That's a good one to end on.
Oh gosh. Okay. My future self, what advice would she give you right now? I would say she might tell me that, you know, there are a lot of things that you can invest your time in. A lot of activities, your phone, whatever it is, but you're never going to get back the moments with your people. And your personal should always trump your professional. And this is what I mean by this, okay? I love my job, I love my people, but when I'm missing from work, they'll figure it out. When I'm missing from my family or my friends, they'll notice. And I want to always be the most accountable to the people who love and want the best for me in the greatest way possible. And so they'll notice that you're not there, but work might not. So
yeah.
They might notice in a moment, but the memories that you'll make with the people that you really need to prioritize, they'll remember that far more than that one day that you weren't at work. So, take care of your job, do your job well. It's really important, but make sure that you're prioritizing your people, because that will bring you longevity in your health and true happiness, which I think everyone just needs.
Yeah, that's so true. I feel like something that I would tell my younger self is, like, I have always been very career driven, and this is, like, the kind of first time, honestly, I say this like it's the first time, but, like, probably the first time in, like, the past 2 months, like, where I've been able to, like, slow down for my career. Mm-hmm. And, like, I have always envisioned, like, my success as my career a little bit. Like, I've always just been, like, so gung-ho on, like, I'm going to be a career person, and, like, my career is just going to drive my life. And I think I was just so set on that, and I just kind of let it take the wheel for a while. And now I have, like, this peace that I don't care about my job. I don't care what title I have. It just doesn't really matter to me anymore, because, like, that's, like, all outside noise. And, like, I think it just reminds you, like, things of this world are not worthy of that. And, like, that's what I would tell myself, is things of this world are not worthy of your peace. And so, like, if you're letting it consume you, don't let it. Mm-hmm. But, like, that's something that I've just experienced. And now to me, it's like all of that is just noise. Work is noise. I'm passionate about it, and it's great, but, like, it is just noise. And, like, none of that matters to me. And so it's like I just, like, live in this bubble that is really peaceful. And I used to want to, like, not live in the bubble, and I wanted chaos. Mm-hmm. And, like, work was chaos, and I loved that. And I think now it's just, like, it's just noise. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, we hope this helped a little bit, and we had fun. I mean, this was a good exercise. I actually did not know any of these questions beforehand, so.
But it really just made you think.
It does make you think. So we had a great time kind of reviewing these, and we hope that this maybe inspired some of your answers, or, helped you brainstorm some ways that you can kind of recharge for the new year, create that intentional, those stepping stones to achieve whatever it is that your goals are for this year. And so don't get overwhelmed by all of the New Year's resolutions posts. It is fun to do, like, the things that are trending, ins and outs for this year and things like that. And we do them too. It is a good time, but don't get overwhelmed by everything that you're seeing. Just kind of take a minute, count your blessings if you haven't today, and just kind of think, okay, even if you don't have a lot, you've got something.
Yeah.
So focus on what you do have, and then also ways that you can achieve what you don't have yet. So, yeah.
Well, you guys are more than welcome at my gym, by the way.
She feels compelled to.
Anyways, you guys can still come to my gym. I kid. But yeah, February 1st, we'll see.
You're invited on February 1st.
Yeah.
Is what she's saying.
Yeah, but thank you guys for joining us for this, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Sounds good.